Hey, going into my senior year of high school, I thought I was going to Harvard. I thought I was going to Harvard. I didn't have this stacked high school resume. I didn't create some amazing invention at 15 years old, but I was getting recruited to play football at Harvard. A coach DM'd me and he said, hey man, I like the film. I'm going to come check out your practice. So I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. He comes, checks it out. He says, hey man, I really like what I saw. You're a great football player. I can really see you being a football player at Harvard. I'm like, ooh, I like the sound of that. They start sending me handwritten letters. The head coach, the DB coach. I start asking my friends who had gotten scholarship offers. I'm like, hey, is this what it looked like when they offered you? And they're like, yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm a shoo-in. I'm about to go to Harvard. And as I thought more about it, I kind of just started to embrace it. I'm like, you know what? Harvard, it's a good vibe, okay? It kind of goes inside. I could see myself going to Harvard, freshman year, meeting the next Bill Gates. Sophomore year, we're starting our own hedge fund. Junior year, we're taking spring break at Martha's Vineyard, hanging on the yachts. Senior year, we take over a company, and then 30 years down the road, I'm the next president of the United States, okay? Do you know Harvard's alumni? You got George Bush, you got Obama, JFK, Teddy Roosevelt. Whoever you like probably graduated from Harvard. And so the coach, he reaches out to me. He's like, all right, hey, one last thing. Come to our camp in the summer. We're going to see if we're a good fit, and then you might just be a Harvard football player. I'm ecstatic. I'm getting on the plane. Me and my dad, we're going, and I'm thinking, so long, Dallas, Texas, you simple-minded people. I'm going to be a sophisticated Harvard man. They roll out the red carpet for me. I'm going on campus tour. I'm kind of getting the history of it. I'm walking on the campus, getting a vibe for my future education. I just can already see it. Harvard alumni. It just fits. I feel like I just give off that Harvard vibe. And so I'm going to the camp, and I'm thinking, all right, this is a lock. These coaches, they know me. I walk into the coach's office, and they all know my name. They're like, Blake, I'm so glad you came. This is going to be a great camp. I'm thinking, I got this in the bag. Because who else is going to a Harvard football camp? Like some nerds from the Northeast, okay? Some lax bros. We're taking those guys down. I'm locking those guys down, strapped up. It's game over. Camp goes. I'm trying to look like Genesis Smith out there. I'm locking them down. And camp's over. I think I do pretty good. The coach starts singling some of us out. He's like, hey, come back to the coach's office afterwards. I'm thinking, this is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I'm already expecting to get that scholarship offer. I'm ready to sign the paper. Whatever I need to do, I'm a Harvard man. I already feel like I'm a Harvard guy, so why not just make it official? The coach brings me into his office. He's like, hey, Blake, I'm so glad you came to Boston. I'm so glad you came to our camp. I'm like, yes, I know. I did amazing. I'm ready. I'm ready to make it official. Tell me where to sign. I'm there. And he goes, here's the thing. A star safety just committed here that's way better than you. So you don't have a spot at Harvard anymore, but have a safe flight home. I'm sorry, what? My spot at Harvard, my dream was over in an instant. That actually happened. I never heard back from Harvard after that day. It was the ultimate, just like text me, flirt with me, and then leave me on red. It was awful. It was awful. The rest of my senior year, I'm playing. I'm just kind of waiting for coaches to reach out to me because I wanted to play college football. And time again, I'd get so close. I think I'm about to get that scholarship, and then they go with somebody else. The end of the season comes, I got no options. I'm thinking, well, maybe signing day. Signing day comes, no options come up. I'm thinking, well, I guess this is it. My dad comes to me, he's like, hey, Blake, if you want to make this happen, if you want to go play college football, you can't just sit and wait for others to initiate with you. You got to take ownership of it. You got to initiate and try to make something happen. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. And so me and my dad, we do a campus tour at U of A. Because if you can't go to Harvard, then you go to the Harvard of the West, baby, okay? Arizona, a natural step up, okay? Eller College of Business, we make a lot of money, okay? So I come out west. I'm going through the campus tour, okay? We go to Bear Down Gym right out here. They're singing the song, Bear Down, Arizona. Y'all all been a part of it. And as we're going on the campus tour, we stop by the football facility, and me and my dad just kind of sneak out the back. And we're like, all right, I'm going to go find the head coach. We walk up to BDK. Sure enough, head coach is eating lunch right there. We talk to him. I chat it up. I sell myself. And before I know it, by the time school year starts next year, I got a spot with the team. And for the rest of my time in college, I got to live my dream of playing football at the University of Arizona. It was awesome. It was so awesome. And when I look back on my time in college, I'm so glad my dad encouraged me to take ownership of my recruiting process. Instead of just sitting back and waiting for others to initiate or reach out to me, he said, hey, you got to be the one to take responsibility for that, to take initiative. We all have areas of our life where we take ownership in. We all have areas where we are proactive to get results that we might want. For some of us, it might be in fitness and in health. Like you guys, you know what day you're going to the gym. You know exactly what you're going to hit. You got the protein ready to go. The fridge is stacked with Fairlife and chocolate milk, okay? And it shows, all right? It shows. Some of you guys, it's school. You guys really take ownership in your classes and your studies. You got assignments done days ahead. You got that one day a week where you go to the library and you got the hood on, AirPods, that's the next product, AirPods on, and you're locked in. You're in like Batman mode in the library. Like, hey, don't talk to me. I'm studying right now. I'm grinding. Some of you guys have taken ownership in your social spheres. You're like, hey, I'm trying to see my best friends on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm eating lunch at the house on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I want to see all my friends, and I'm making sure I make time for all that. You guys are killing it in your social spheres. But man, there's one area in life that almost all college students don't take ownership in, and it just might be the most important area of your life. What if I told you that if you took ownership in one specific area of your life, it would enhance every other area that you have, and it would give purpose to everything you do? I want to give you an area to own. I want to give you the secret to maximizing these 4 prime years. Tonight, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you should take ownership in growing in your faith now in college. But before we do that, I got a question for you guys. Talk with the people around you. What areas of your life do you currently take ownership in? Talk with the people around you. Bring it back. I heard someone here say dishwashing. I love that. Take ownership of that dishwashing. Hey, some roommates got to do it. Might as well be you. Might as well be you. I saw one girl in here wearing a University of Arizona parking and transportation polo. And so if you see her, don't jump her. But I love that you're taking ownership and pride in your work, okay? Parking and transportation, it's important. We need you. Hey, the first reason you should take ownership of growing in your faith is because everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. This past summer, I spent 2 months in Orlando, Florida for StuMo's summer internship called Kaleo. And the one day I'm going, and I wake up a little late, so I don't have time for breakfast, but it's okay. Me and the boys, we go to lunch, and we go to this Asian food spot. Okay, normally Asian food, it sits right with me, but today, the empty stomach, I got the sesame chicken. There was a lot of sauce. Okay, y'all know some places it has the perfect amount of sauce. Other places, it like drowns it. This place was drowning the chicken in the sauce. I have it, I'm moving, I go back, and you know I had that like post-lunch sludge. I'm not feeling right. My stomach, it's not feeling good. I felt like a pregnant woman having kicks in my stomach. It wasn't right. Okay, something didn't feel right. So I'm thinking, okay, what do I got to do? I'm about to fall asleep in the middle of the day. I got to do something. So I'm thinking, okay, let me go to the hotel gym. Let me hit a little hot girl walk on the treadmill. Okay, do a little bicep curl. Do a little chest press. Nothing crazy, but just something to kind of get the digestive system moving. And so I go to the gym, and who's there but a bunch of my buddies? And they're there not to just do a little hot girl walk. No. They're there to do a Murph, okay, just after Asian food. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't really know if that's for me. Like, I'm not that guy right now, okay? Stomach's not feeling good. But they keep telling me, like, hey, man, why don't you do a Murph with us? What are you, scared? What am I supposed to say? I'm a man, of course. I'm going to do the Murph, okay? If you don't know what a Murph workout is, it was created by an American soldier who actually died in combat, and he would put on this workout, and he'd bring other guys on the base to do it with him. You start off with a mile run, as fast as you can go. You get back, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 air squats. And at the end of that, you do another mile. And the really hardcore guys wear weight vests when they do it. That wasn't me. But they challenged me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, so I do it. So I'm like, all right, let me run. I'm running the mile. I'm feeling good. We're doing the air squats. We're doing the push-ups. We're doing the pull-ups. I'm kind of staying with them, but it's starting to weigh on me. This Chinese food is fighting back. okay? I get halfway done. We're still going. I'm kind of falling behind the pack. By about 3/4 of the way done, I'm seeing lights, and I know this is not going to end well. I feel the food coming back up the esophagus, and I'm thinking, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I run outside, I get on my knees, and I just start throwing up orange sesame chicken all outside the hotel. Moms are shielding their children away from this scary old man puking outside. Men are just laughing and showing their sons, look, that's who you don't want to be. My self-esteem was through the floor, but I came back and I finished it, okay, because that's what we do. But when I was done, I kind of just thought, like, man, I thought I wasn't that guy. I wasn't really built to do a Murph, especially today. And what's cool is throughout the rest of the summer, more and more guys started doing a Murph with us. And then some guys did it a lot faster than others. Some guys, it took a little bit longer. But by the end of the summer, there were so many guys that was doing this Murph workout together. And if you would have looked at them in the beginning of the summer, you might have thought, this guy isn't your Murph workout guy, okay? Not to hate on anybody. But they were doing it, man. They were doing it. They were doing the Murph workout. And even more so than completing a Murph workout, everyone can grow in their faith. Look at what Jesus says in Revelation 3:20. Here I am. Oh yeah, that was the Murph picture. Yep, there we go. You can't see the throw up. That was outside. But the other guys, they had the weight vests on. I didn't even have a weight vest. I finished about 15 minutes after them. It's all good. But look at what Jesus says, okay? Everyone can grow in their faith. This is what he says. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me. He says, if anyone hears my voice, that means anybody. And he says, hey, if you come in and open the door, we're going to grow together. Like Jesus said, hey, I want to help grow with you. I want to help you grow. And this offer is for everybody. Whether you have no background in faith and you're like, look, I don't know what the Bible is. I don't know who this Jesus guy is, but I like the free Chick-fil-A, so I showed up. Or whether the only background you have in faith is, hey, I went to a Catholic middle school or high school. I don't know much more about it. Hey, Jesus says everyone can grow in their faith. Everyone can. The offer is out there, but will you take Jesus up on it? I know one guy who, I meet a lot of guys on campus, and I help a lot of guys grow in their faith. And one guy that has done this extremely well, who's really taken ownership of growing in his faith. He's a junior here. He's an SAE. His name's John Carlo. GC, why don't you come on up? Tell us a little bit. Come on up. You got to hear a little bit from GC. Senior, what? Oh my gosh. Break my heart, man.
Hey guys. My name's John Carlo. Everyone calls me GC. I'm a senior here. I'm an SAE, if you didn't hear Blake. Appreciate you guys. And taking personal ownership of my faith was something that took a while. You know, it wasn't a full-on switch. But when, you know, we draw to God and we open our hearts, He'll open us and He'll give us those things little by little. And that's the biggest thing that I learned as I was going with my walk with God. I saw Blake. This guy was full of joy. And people look at that smile. It's money. But there's something different about, at the time, there was something different about his joy and mine. It's because this guy knew Jesus, and I just knew of him. And there's a big difference because I realized that I wanted to know Jesus. So I needed to take that personal ownership of my faith, and little by little, the first step that I took was going to SMC. Yeah, cool. It's it's a conference that we have in January, but that's the first step that I took to just open that door. And little by little, I opened my heart up to God and substituted things. This summer, I was with Kaleo as well, the summer internship program, and I substituted an amazing internship opportunity that I had to be with these guys, be with 100 other people that were driven by the same goal, that wanted to grow in their faith. And years ago, I could tell you guys I would never have done that. That's something I would never have seen myself doing. And now I look at it and it's the best thing I've ever done. And I'm just ready to do more. In James, I said it a little earlier, but James 4:8 says, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. What's drawing you guys away from God? I just want to ask you guys that. Think about it and take initiative.
Thank you, GC. Thank you, GC. One thing about GC is he will always encourage and compliment you. He's a great friend to have, okay? He brings smiles to you. I love that. Thank you, GC. The first reason you should take ownership in growing in your faith is because everyone can do it. The second reason you should take ownership of growing in your faith is because good things don't happen by chance. Good things don't happen by chance. The Bible says a lot about this topic, and it says this in Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. So we see that there's two types of people here. There's the person who's diligent and whose plans lead to abundance. This is the guy or the girl who says, hey, this is what I aspire my life to look like. What do I need to do in order to get there? Maybe I gotta put more time into certain areas. I gotta cut out this in my life. I gotta grow here. I want to have this abundant life in Christ. So I'm gonna take steps to get there. This is a person who's thoughtful in their actions. They think about what I'm doing today. How is it gonna affect my life 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? And the person who does that, the Bible says, will lead to an abundant life. That's true in finances, that's true in relationships, and that's true in your spiritual life. And then there's the other person. The Bible describes this person as hasty. And the word hasty just means somebody who doesn't really think too much about what they're doing. They don't put too much thought on the front end. This is a person who just kind of goes through life by the seat of their pants, you could say. They don't really think about how their actions are affecting their life in the future. They don't have any long-term vision for their life. They don't really think about what the consequences of the choices they make, how that's affecting their life. And the Bible says this leads to poverty. That's both financial, that could be in friendships, and that could be spiritual. And so there's two different ways we can live our life. And, good things don't happen by chance, and the Bible kind of says this as well. When I was in college, I had a teammate named Alex. Okay, Alex was a big offensive lineman. You can show the picture of him here. He's a stud, okay? He's from Sacramento, okay? Big boy, about 320. And one thing you got to know about offensive linemen is that they're probably the wildest guys on the team, depending on the team. But at least on my team, these guys were wild. And Alex was just one of them, okay? And so by the time that Alex had finished college, he had he kind of came to the consequences of what his life looked like. I was catching up with him the other day, and I said, hey, dude, tell me a little bit about your story, how you got from where you are today to where you started. And he said, at 19, I realized that I had a problem with alcohol. I played football at a high level, but I drank at an even higher level. This guy would get drunk 2 to 3 nights a week while trying to keep a full student-athlete schedule. And he said, I didn't change it for the next 3 years. For 3 years, Alex lived this life. If there was somebody that was wild on the team, Alex was going to beat him at whatever drinking event there was. And I asked him, what made that change? What made you see that this just wasn't working? And he said, man, I had a crazy health scare at age 22. And basically, I had a friendship breakup where because there was this 1 month where I got drunk so many times, my behavior was so negative towards my friends. They basically said, hey, we don't want to be friends with you anymore. These are friends he had all college. They basically said, hey, dude, because of your lifestyle and the way you act, we don't want to be friends with you anymore. Alex had hit rock bottom. He kind of saw this was a life that led to poverty. I was hasty in my decisions. And so after that, he started looking, okay? Alex was agnostic growing up. He had no faith background, but what he did know is there was a couple guys on the team who took ownership and growing in their faith. I was one of them, and there was another guy named Sammy. And so Alex came and he talked to us, and he started asking, hey, can I come with you guys? Can I come to StuMo? Can I come to Bible study? How can I grow in my faith? And he started reading the Bible on his own. And in the next 5 years, Alex would completely transform his life through growing in his faith. He says today it's been 6 years since he's taken a sip of alcohol just because he knew how much of a stronghold it had in his life. This is a picture of him now. I mean, physically, he looks completely different. But if you even saw just who he is on the inside, man, he is full of joy. He mentors high school kids. He coaches high school football. He's a full-time personal trainer. And this guy is just living with purpose now. You would have never thought that's where his life would take him based on who he was his first 3 years of college. But Alex saw that, hey, good things don't happen by chance. If I want to have a strong faith, I got to take steps to grow in my faith. And Alex did that. And his life looks drastically different now. What's the trajectory of the choices you are making for your life? Where is it going to end up 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? What would it look like in your life if you took ownership in growing in your faith? What would it look like next semester? How much could your life change in one semester? How much could your life change in 1 year? What would your life look like 5 years down the road if right now, today, you started taking ownership of growing in your faith? Take ownership of growing in your faith. Everyone can do it, and good things don't happen by chance. You might be hearing that. You might be thinking, okay, Blake, hey, that sounds good. I like that. This sounds a lot of like hypothetical things. What do I got to do practically? Tell me, how do I take ownership of growing in my faith practically? Well, I'm going to give you guys 3 ways you can take ownership of growing in your faith right now. And the first one is read the Bible every day. Read the Bible every day. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, but just read it a little bit every day. If you don't know where to start, download the Bible app, ask for a Bible, we can get you one, or somebody can get you one, and start in the book of Mark and just read a chapter a day, or a chapter every 2 days. Read the Bible every day, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 30 minutes, and just see how it transformed your life. The second way you can take ownership of growing your faith is to take initiative to have someone help you grow in your faith. All of us here were probably invited by somebody, or maybe you heard about it, or maybe you even know somebody in your life that is a little bit further along in faith than you. Man, be humble enough to go say, hey, bro, can you help me grow in my faith, even if they're just 1 year older than you, even if they're just 2 years older than you. Maybe there's someone in here who's been asking to help you grow in their faith, and you've kind of been giving them the stiff arm. Maybe say, hey, bro, I know I gave you the stiff arm. I know I left you on red 3 times in a row, but I'm down to grow. What do you say? I promise you, they're not going to hold it against you. The third way we can take ownership of growing in our faith is to come with me to SMC. Okay, SMC, GC hit it earlier, but it is StuMo's winter conference, January 2nd through the 5th. It's 4 days, 3 nights in Dallas, Texas. About 3,000 college students from StuMos all across the country come to Dallas and grow in their faith, and you grow in tremendous friendships with the students here at Arizona. It's an amazing experience, a highlight of my year every year. I mean, it kicks off the year amazing. My only regret in college was not going sooner. My first SMC was my sophomore year. I wish I would have gone my freshman year. I've been back every single year since, and I'm going to be there next year. Well, I guess it is 2025. I'm going to be there in 2025.